What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Anti-Gravity Group podcast. My name is Braden Carlson.
My name is Taylor.
My name is Shane, or as you might know me, Postart.
And my name is Matthew. You can call me Macho Matt.
Hey, now I have a clean cut for the soundboard, dude. That's perfect. What's going on, everybody? Today, we are just having a nice chat about the rocket stuff that we're working on, the launches coming up, and the unbelievable stress that I am under right now because Shane and I are moving. So,
Yay, we love stress.
yeah, it's so much fun, dude.
I have to know. Does Shane have any stress?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're taking it.
Oh,
okay,
I don't?
This is the
I
first
don't?
time I'm hearing of this.
So Braden's taking all the
I
stress.
mean, if I
No.
don't, that's sick. I would love that.
Shane likes to internalize it and push it all down, so hopefully it explodes.
Yeah.
True. Big fan of that.
Just give it
I
to
like to
Braden.
outwardly talk about it on a podcast. It's pretty fun. Yeah, dude, we were talking about the Nike Smoke, which we'll get into in a little bit, potentially having research motors. And he's like, yeah, I thought that was the plan. I was like, yeah, so we're going to make a 98 and 454s within the 3 weeks after we move to take to Kansas and then go build the Nike Smoke. And he was like, right. And on top of that, I have to build a whole N1560 rocket, which is going to be a thing because I don't even have fins for it yet. And those are expensive. But anyway, we'll get all into this. We're going to talk about what we are working on currently. And then we got some cues from the Patreon, and we're going to give them some A's. Okay?
Oh,
We also
man.
have one rocket surgeon request as well. So we'll get into that. But before we do that, I want to say two things. If you're watching this on the day that it releases, that will be Monday, June 30th. The Estus Pro Series 2 J-Hawk is now out. And if all went to plan, a video about it is now out on the Rocket Vlogs channel. But I just wanted to point out, you could go get yourself a cool J-Hawk, and you can get a 10% discount by using my code ZWW10. So please go check that thing out.
And if you're unsure if you like Jayhawks, if you happen to like puzzles, then you will definitely like the Jayhawk.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. It was actually like really satisfying. It wasn't that complex to put together, but it's, I don't know. I'm used to high power stuff, obviously.
How does it
Kinda
compare to the Beaumark?
fragile. In terms of difficulty of building,
Yeah.
it's like a tenth of the difficulty of the Beaumark. Just like
Perfect.
the Beaumark requires you taking pieces of wood and turning them into something they're not yet.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
you have to hand shape stuff. The extent of the J-Hawk build is that you have to hand bevel some things, and otherwise it all just goes together real nice, and you have to cut out some fin slots and stuff. Yeah, it was really fun to build. I want to put composite motors in it, but it is all balsa, so that's what I mean when I say it seems fragile. For an Estus rocket, it doesn't seem fragile. It seems like a model rocket, right? 'Cause
Have you
that's what it
painted?
is. But I'm like,
have you painted it yet?
it's in primer right now. So there's a real good chance my video will not display it with decals, but we'll see how far I get over the next couple of days. I'm at that impasse with myself where I'm like, oh yeah, it's good enough, and I'm gonna have to just live with this. And also me being like, no, I want to sand it for 9 hours so it looks perfect. But I'm running into a unique situation because it's an Estes kit where if I sand it too much, I start to make the balsa shape funny. So I think I'm just gonna have to suck it up and call them scale stick welds like I did with the Beaumark. Because
Even though the
you saw the Beaumark?
It looks sick.
That's okay, great. That's good. And it looks especially sick on camera. So, and that's all I really need. Because
It looks really sick compared to one that's in a bag.
that is true.
In
Dude,
parts
there's one
form.
for sale on Facebook
Yeah, I
Marketplace
saw.
that's already built. You could just go get that one and paint it.
No.
Doesn't that
That's
sound
no
fun?
That's no fun.
But yeah,
Okay, so is
J-Hawk,
building it more fun, Taylor?
I think once I'm into it, I might think that.
it was really fun. You can ask Shane. I don't have a lot of patience for things, and I enjoyed that.
I really just
Yeah.
need a house at work where I'm gonna be there a while, and I'll just set up a little workstation, and I just work on the bow mark a little bit every day
Just
at work.
Walmart building lunch breaks.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Dude,
Okay.
what?
Second
what
thing
would
I wanted to
Dave
get to.
think of
Sorry.
that? No, you're good.
Oh. Well,
what
Taylor,
would Dave
what do you
about
think?
that?
I think my boss would not care at all.
Oh, good.
unless
That's not bad.
unless he walked in and I happened to be working on it at, just at like 9:00 in the morning.
Yeah. You're like, I was just adjusting some clamps, and then I was going to do some stuff. I swear.
He's like, oh, is this
Dude,
going to
I
help
think-
the
I
house
think-
get done?
I think I might
Alright.
try my luck at Garmin. Maybe rent out like a little
Yeah.
conference room. and-
Yeah.
there we go.
Dude, that's
Good
what
idea.
I'm talking about. I mean, I build rockets where I work, but that's because I work from home. So,
Yeah,
What a
really convenient
piece
for
of-
building rockets, really.
yeah, I actually, while I was working on stuff, when I was building the J-Hawk, I had Shane's table set up in my room. So I could go from my computer desk and just turn 90 degrees and like glue some stuff together and then turn back to the computer desk and get some work done. It was really, really efficient, honestly. But anyway, second thing I wanted to say, next week we're doing an episode with a fun challenge, and I want all of y'all's input. So the challenge is this. You have to bring us a rocket plan. Your budget is $350 all in. Are you paying attention, Matthew? Because you have homework.
I am paying attention. $350 all in.
This rocket has to be capable of doing level 1, 2, and 3 certifications. So it has to be able to fly at least I through M. But bonus points if you get H and like N, because that would be kind of impressive.
Wow.
This includes everything: recovery, electronics, hardware, retention. Everything needs to be $350 or less. And I've already figured mine out. Have you guys figured yours out?
I haven't even started.
Nope.
Yeah, I've got it done.
Wow.
Do we need to bring
What?
like an itemized list? Do we
Yeah,
need to bring
mine's
an
all
itemized
priced out.
list? Okay.
So that's, yeah, I figured mine out. And I think mine's going to be a little bit shocking to people. But scratch builds are welcome, but you need to price out the components that you're purchasing. Unsurprisingly to all of us, if you're on the Patreon, you will see that Bryce Chanis has already brought his to the table. And I was like, I like his thinking because he did something that I hadn't thought about as a possibility. But yeah, so if you want to submit your $350 all 3 search challenge thing, go to patreon.com/rocketvlogs. If you're not already a member, you don't have to be a paid member to partake in the podcast discussions. So I'll put the link in the description, and you just have to sign up for a free membership, and then you can comment, or you can send it to us in an email at contact@aggpodcast.com. And I think that's all the housekeeping I have. I already talked a little bit about working on the J-Hawk, but who wants to go next? Who's been working on what?
Oh, Matt?
Matt's raising his hand.
Whoa.
What do you got?
I well, I picked up my Skeeter from Taylor.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if we've even talked about that yet, but Taylor, well, we kind of
Oh,
have. Taylor
dang it.
made 4 Polecat Skeeter clone kits. So he made the mold. I would tell you,
You
to
mean-
go check
you
out
mean-
the video.
You mean Orange Cat
Um,
Skeeters?
Oh, yeah, Orange Cat Skeeters. There's a great video of making the nose cones come to the Rocketry channel, probably in 2027. And you can go see that.
What's really dumb, that video is actually pretty much done. It's missing one clip of of me like closing it all out, and I just never did it. So
Then just publish it.
Wow.
well, it's an abrupt ending that way.
Oh my god. It's like Chris Rudnick. No one's gonna know who that is. But okay, well, Matt, did you start building it? We should note real quick that none of ours came with fin slots, but Taylor pre-slotted Matt's fins for him.
Well,
that's really gonna help.
I thought that would encourage Matt to start it sooner.
And what's the verdict, Matt? Have you started on it?
So right now the nose cone is inside the air.
So that's how they come, though.
Right, yeah. That's
Well, but it's still in there, so I haven't taken it apart. But
wait, is the plan to fly these at Airfest?
yeah, why not?
Dude, just say no. Just say no. There's
I
no
kinda
way.
thought
That-
it was.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna fly.
come on, it's not
I'm
that
flying
far.
mine at Airfest.
Oh my god,
And Matt-
dude, I
All
can't-
right.
Matt better have his done. He has no excuse.
Matt.
Yeah.
I already
Are
know
we
he's
doing
giving
our
up on
other-
his level 3. So
No, I'm not giving up on my level 3. I'm just taking my sweet time.
Yeah,
Let's
well,
ask Corey
you're
Brennan
also-
about that.
yeah, you've got about 7. You got a week to start. Otherwise, you gotta log your flights.
You know, part of me is thinking about doing that though, logging the flights.
Well,
like
if
I think at Airfest, you know,
well, there's nothing wrong
That
with
way I
that
do
if
it the
that's what
right
you want to
way.
do.
that's what
You just
I
gotta
do.
commit.
I
You just
mean,
gotta commit to it.
You want to be a little
Yeah, that
sissy
means I would have to
Lala.
go.
Oh,
Can you imagine how hard I'll go for Airfest then? I'll have the Orange Cat Skeeter. I'll have 2 level 2 certified or qualifying flights, and then my level 3. That's a
What? Why is
It's
the
pretty
the Skeeter not?
Yeah,
a
the Skeeter
qualifying
could
flight?
definitely be a level 2.
yeah.
well, yeah. I don't know. I thought I'd just go super hard.
Okay, Shane, will you make a jig for slotting fins on these and slot mine, please? Thank you.
Yeah, I can do that.
No stress.
Are we,
for,
Taylor? Are
To
we
be fair,
drag racing?
I would have slotted your guys' too, but I ran out of time, which is very funny that I rushed to get all that done because it's not like any of us started on those before I saw you again a month later.
Yeah, in Colorado.
Or
Yeah,
2 months
that's a
later.
Good point. Yeah, it would have been plenty of time to slot them. Honestly.
Yeah. So that was
Crazy.
dumb.
What were you gonna ask, Shane?
Are we drag racing our fat boys at Airfest, Taylor?
wow.
If you get it done.
Okay, I can have it done.
Dang.
Whoa. Does that mean there's gonna be a Postart Propulsions video coming soon?
Maybe
What?
2026, halfway
Oh
through.
my god, dude. This is the problem, is because none of you do
This is
anything. That's why everyone thinks Rocket Vlogs is our channel cumulatively.
It is.
It's not. It's
Well,
mine.
We're
Why
trying
can't
our
it-
best, Braden.
we
It
can
just
keep
so
it that
happens
way.
our best is not what you want it to be.
Yeah, well, shape up, okay?
Oh.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Braden's gonna kick
This
us
is
all
our
out
channel.
of the anti-gravity group. It's just
no
gonna be
matter
him.
what we do,
He's
we're
the
never
whole
good
group.
enough for Braden.
No, you never will be, quite frankly.
Oh,
I'm like a
Oh,
disappointed
man.
father. This is our channel, and ironically, I still do all of the work. So I don't know what to do about any of this.
Well, you
I
could
feel
make
like,
someone
I
else
feel like
do
there's
the work.
layers. I feel like there's layers of disappointed father within our group because you're like the lead disappointed father, Braden, but then like Taylor's my disappointed father.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
that's just with
for sure.
everything, though, right?
Yeah. That's true.
Taylor, do you say make somebody else do the
Oh,
work?
I see.
Yeah.
yeah, make
Who-
Matt
who am
edit the
I
podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who am I gonna give the work to? The 2 people that post a video once every 9 months. People actually like the podcast coming out with some consistency.
Well, but
so-
there's no video in. Well, I guess there is a video involved.
There sure is. Yes, we're on it every single
Yeah.
week. Actually, I can
Yeah.
see why you wouldn't know though, considering you don't do any of it. Got it.
Oh.
Oh wow, dude,
I'm sure I
this
could
is
Python script it up.
There's gonna be like some chatter about the anti-gravity group breaking up. We're gonna become a statistic, dude. There's only like 5% of podcasts make it to 100 episodes, and we're 4 away with this one. It's all gonna
Oh.
fall
Just
apart.
implodes. Yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah.
die after 99.
All right. Well, since
Sheesh.
Matt wasn't actually working on anything, Taylor or Shane, you want to tell us what you got going on?
Well, when I got back from the, well, prepping for LDRS and NSL, left my garage in a post-tornado-like state. And it thank you. And it continued to be that way until last Saturday when I cleaned it all up. And it was a bad one. It took about 3 or 4 hours to get that all situated. And then I'm like, wow, it feels really nice in here. So let's start building a rocket. So I started on the Skeeter, got the motor mount put together. Actually, no, it's in the rocket. So it's ready to slam some fins in there. And it should be about done. I'm getting ready to start on the Fat Boy, but I have not yet because I need to cut fin slots, and that's seemed like too much work.
You should call it Fat Boy Slim. All right. Well,
Fat guy.
yeah. What's the performance Chubsy? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Chubsy. That's what mine is. The fins are a little bit wrong, but that's okay.
I'm gonna call mine
I'm just-
Lardo.
I'm just gonna call it. I'm gonna call it the fatty.
Wow.
That was my nickname in high school, dude. That's cool. That's
Oh.
cool. Okay. Well, that's all. That's all you got going on.
I made a Rocksim file for the Nike Smoke.
Oh yeah. Actually, we should talk about Shane. You should go because you've actually been working on something quite exciting, which people can see on my Patreon. Actually, that real quick, do you think we should have a podcast dedicated Patreon? It seems like a weird thing to have because it would just be only the podcast, and for the same amount of money, you could just go to my Patreon. But the podcast Patreon would go specifically to paying for the podcast, and then any money generated from the podcast goes to specifically our group projects and not just my rocket nonsense in general. But I was like, we could just do like a single $1 a month tier, and that's it. And you get the podcast episodes early, and there's no like crazy expectation of all this behind the scenes stuff and everything. But it's just a way to support the podcast, and then you get them without ads. So I don't know. Tell us, contact at aggpodcast.com or leave a comment on YouTube if you would be into that.
Would there be a way to do behind the scenes stuff without it being an expectation?
Yeah, I mean, we could just post stuff whenever we're working on stuff.
Just be like, and sometimes there will be behind the scenes.
I mean, it could be cool too, because then like I could make all 3 of you guys admins, and then we could all be posting on it, like while we're working on rocket stuff. Or
Yeah.
that would be like in the case of the Punisher would have been nice because Taylor, you could have posted like as you were making big parts.
Well, I'm getting ready to make more parts
in real time. Yeah, so let's talk about that. Shane, tell us what you've been working on.
Yeah, we the kit that we bought, have we talked about that at all yet?
I think
We've
a little
danced
bit.
around
We
it a
might as
little
well
bit.
just
Yeah.
we purchased a 10-inch Polecat Nike Smoke at it was purchased by Taylor from a guy in Washington and delivered to us by Chris and Ray Phillips. So the biggest shout outs to Chris and Ray. Chris was buying a rocket from him as well and sent me a message. He's like, check out what I just bought. And I was like, whoa, I know where you got that. Do you how are you getting that? And he's like, oh, we're renting a van going to pick it up. I was like, what are the odds there's room in that van for also a 10-inch diameter Nike Smoke? And he was very cool, and he brought it to us at NSL. So we now have a 10-inch Nike Smoke, and it's going to be sick. But we'll talk about the motor configuration here in a second. But first, we're going to talk about what Shane's doing, because it's sitting on our table in the living room, and it's so sick, dude.
Yeah, it looks so good. The Nike Smokes, as many people know from the Pro Series 2 kit, they have the kind of funny tapers for the fins, and we just have plywood ones that Taylor has. So I decided to get some measurements online and 3D print. It's basically like a crown for your teeth, and then it just slides over the fin, and it's the correct shape.
Dude.
Did you grab it?
Yeah, and I know we've been talked to sternly by a couple people about the podcast having like visual elements, but I just want you guys to see the giant Nike Smoke fin
It's so sick.
If you're watching this on video, so thick at the base, that's 3/8 that slot to go over the plywood. And it's so good looking and so cool in scale. And because I'm showing this on the podcast, this is going to be my new thing. Okay. Go follow the Anti-Gravity group on Facebook, and maybe we'll make an Instagram too. And I'll post pictures of stuff that I'm showing for you fine audio listeners, because the audio listeners, truthfully, are the real ones, dude. It doesn't matter what the episode is, the same amount of people listen to it every time. But when we had Brahm on, people saw the thumbnail and were like, I don't care, and like didn't watch it. So shout out to the audio only listeners. We love you all. Okay. And I apologize for being bad. I make videos like that's been my whole life for like 20 years now. It's a hard habit to break, to be an audio only medium.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Anything else there, Shane?
No, I mean, we just wanted to have scale looking fins because they're rad.
Okay, I actually wanted to ask you about this, Taylor, what your opinion is on how we should do this. Are we going to glue them on and glass over them, or are we going to glue them on and do tip to tip glass?
I was thinking tip to tip.
Me too, because, well, why don't you tell the people about the centering rings you're going to be making soon?
What about them?
What the holes that are going in them are?
Oh, a 98 and 454s, because we can't help ourselves.
Yeah. How can we have a 10-inch rocket and not put a cluster setup in it?
Listen,
Yeah.
we could
Come
just
on.
put one in, but that's not nearly as cool.
No, and it honestly, admittedly, was really cool in the Arcus,
Well,
and we
Yeah.
probably would enjoy it, but we'll enjoy it more if there's a level of complexity.
In this way, if we want to, we can still just fly it on a single in.
We actually had planned on just doing a single one, but Matt specifically was like, no, guys, I think we need to cluster this.
And he
talked some
offered to
sense
pay
into us.
for all of the outboards.
Oh, that was so nice of him.
Yeah,
It
it was
was.
really nice of him. Actually, I
Thought
I do have something to say that I already told Shane, but I think Taylor and Matt are going to be excited about this, because we've decided we're going to, if all goes to plan, we're building the 10-inch Nike Smoke and flying it at Airfest this year. And I have an M1939 that we're going to put in the middle. I did not pay for that M1939, so therefore none of you will be paying for it either. It's just courtesy of Eric Beavers. The center motor is going to be an M1939, and we're trying to source some K540s, which makes me think maybe we should order some before this episode goes live. But if you have a K540 that you're willing to sell, let us know. We were going to do K550s, but like we just are coming off the back of a giant white lightning cluster. So I was like, what if we shake it up? We put some metal storm around it and kind of just make it look like a giant white Sparky. I think it'll be cool. And Taylor, do you want to tell the nice folks how high and fast this 10-inch Nike Smoke is supposed to go on that motor combo? We do this every time where
Yeah.
we're like, oh, we forgot how much impulse this is.
The good news is this one's way draggier, so it keeps the speed down, but it's still going to go really high. Well, it looks like there's some variables. Like I don't really know how much the fins, once we do all the stuff to it, like what that's going to turn out to be, but it's looking like the rocket will be kind of like the Arcus, pretty light for its size, and 65 or 75 pounds without motors and around 100 pounds on the pad, which with this combo is simming to around 13,000 feet.
Dude, that's crazy. It is worth noting though, obviously we don't have final weights. We're going to glass the tube again because they came pre-glassed, but we don't want this thing folding in half. We bought it for so little money that we're all kind of like, whatever happens, happens. But we're going to, try to make it not come apart because it's cool to just have a 10-inch Nike Smoke. But it was $175, right?
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Which, I mean, if we were able to buy that nose cone today by itself, it would be twice that.
$350.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Easy. Yeah. What a crazy project. I'm stoked for it, especially because it's going to be very cheap. Cheaper than the Arcus, honestly, which is nuts. We just keep setting the bar lower and lower.
Is
The
it
other
cheaper
day-
than
to
the
Bryce's
Arcus?
level.
Actually, I don't know.
Well, we
That
don't have to
might
make
be a
we
fun
don't we
breakdown.
don't have to make a nose cone. I would say very similar in price, maybe.
Yeah, we got to order solar sleeves. Dude, I was at Home Depot checking out the concrete form tubes, and I kind of forgot how cheap they are.
Yeah.
Dude, a 4 foot 12-inch tube right now even is like $17, and I'm like, dang, dude. So there's a pro tip for anybody who's doing the $350 level 3 challenge. Dude, it would be so sick. Like, we kind of deem what the best level 3 project is. Wouldn't it be sick, or the level 1, 2, 3 thing? Wouldn't it be sick if somebody actually built one for their level 3? I'm not gonna lie, because I wouldn't have to buy electronics, I was like, should I do this with mine? Because it's
With
crazy cheap. My level 1, 2, 3
Oh.
thing for next week. So, I need more rockets
Yeah.
all the
that's
time,
for
right?
sure.
Right.
Speaking of which, let me touch on what I'm working on. I started
Oh.
working on my Mac Performance Orange Black Fly. The motor mount is glued in. And the tail cone and everything is on, so I just need to put the fins on and do some fillets and get it painted. But in the process of that, I went to Estus and was given a J-Hawk and a date that it was going to come out. And I know myself well enough to know that I was going to start it and then not work on it for a while, and then have what's day? 3 days until the release, and still half a video shot and half a rocket built. Well, it just needs paint now, but I'm in that, like I said earlier, that phase of wanting to make it more perfect than it actually needs to be. Honestly, I could probably just go spray it orange right now, and it would kind of look like S, but I think it would get the pass once all the decals are on.
Mhm.
That's kind of what saved the bow mark, in my opinion. But anyway, so I had that going on. The black fly is on the black burner. Thank you. That's so I have that going on this weekend. I'm going to MDARS with David, which is like Mojave Rocket Society, Mojave Desert Area Rocket Society. I don't know. I don't even know if that's what it stands for. But I think I'm gonna fly the competitor again, dude. After NSL, I was like, man, this thing's kind of sick. And I need to see if I can borrow the ring that goes with the tail cone, though. But I think I'm gonna put a K1800 in it because I have one, and I need to fly some of my rocket motors. I think I need to do an inventory. I have like a rough one, and it's kind of absurd. I don't know how many rocket motors I have right now, but it's a lot more than is reasonable. I think I have 5 M's. Isn't that stupid?
Yeah.
Dang.
So, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
working on that. I'll fly something good.
Well, I was just like lately I guess it's been like a couple years now, but I was like, I feel like I'm about out of rocket motors. I better get some more. And really, when you take the inventory, there's quite a few. I'm like, that would be like 16 flights.
I think. Oh my god, that can't be right. No
What?
way. That's not right. I see. It's not calculating things correctly. I think I have, let's see, that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I have 18 AMW motors. No, that's not counting a couple of them. That's like, I have like 22 AMW motors and a ton of Aerotech stuff now as well after my Midwest Power purchase. So, and I have the M2250 for the Nike Smoke. I have a Kazan M1130, which is pretty crazy, and I just need to fly it. The problem is I'm like attached to the idea of putting these cool old motors in these cool old rockets that I have. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'll put the M1130 in my 5.5-inch BSD Horizon because that's like appropriate. I'll put my 1999 M1315 in my DG&A Armageddon because it's appropriate. Problem is neither one of those is built. And I'm like, I think I just have to get over it and fly some rockets. Because if all I do is build them, then I'll not fly any. You can put that on wax. I think in short succession, though, I also want to build. I got a composite warehouse 5.5-inch Patriot, and I want to start on that. It should be pretty quick and easy to build. And I have another 4-inch Punisher. I'm also, Taylor will like this idea, contemplating. I don't know. I wanted to dedicate it like for the Dark Star my dad and I built, our 6-inch Dark Star. I'm also sort of considering putting my M2500 in my 5-inch Punisher.
Now that's a good answer right there.
I'm kind of afraid it's gonna kill it.
No,
It'll be fine.
I just think about the first flight where the main didn't come out, and I'm like, man, if it landed on a fin and just like cracked the fillet a little bit, the M2500 is gonna push it fast. And if the fin starts fluttering a little bit and there's already a crack in the fillet, that's the end of that story.
Can you see a crack in the fillet?
No.
So it's fine.
You're fine.
Yeah, I don't know about.
Dude, you know how many times I've dropped my 4-inch Punisher multiple times, and it's been fine.
Yeah, but it lands in
I feel-
soft dirt in Kansas every time.
I feel like
yeah.
I feel like Brain's being a bit of a mild man right now.
Well, okay.
Oh,
Ooh, called out.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, I would just do it if I could borrow Taylor's case, because you can just lose those and not replace them on any sort of
Yeah, borrow
it. But I don't really want to kill my Gates Brothers case, and it would really suck if I did it on a shred. But I'd also would be kind of appropriate, I guess. I don't know, dude. And I gotta build the 8-inch Punisher. I gotta fix all my broken S. There's too much stuff, dude.
oh.
This is like all teenage me ever wanted, is to have like every rocket I could possibly want and unlimited motors for them. And I've just like put myself in this boot loop where I'm like, oh, I gotta make a rocket video when I could just go fly a rocket. So
Yeah,
We're
you could
going-
quit. You could quit building for a second.
that's kind of what I want to do, but then no, I can't, right? Because as soon as we move, I have to start building my N1560 rocket if I want to fly it at balls. And this will be the third balls in a row where I've wanted to do a minimum diameter N1560 flight. And this year I have the motor, the case, and the airframe and the nose cone. I have 99% of the rocket. It'd be really stupid not to build it. So I have to do
I'm
that.
sure you'll have plenty of time to do that.
Yeah, I remember
well,
last year when we got back from balls, you were like, I want to start working on this like fairly soon because I don't want to be rushing it in the last month or two before balls.
Yeah, I sort of ran into an issue where I kind of decided not to start working on it because I want to build the motor. And I wasn't convinced I wanted to just have a loaded end motor around for 9 months. I guess what Taylor did after the Punisher's first flight attempt. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little scary. Plus the nozzle.
and last year's
Oh
Punisher
yeah,
attempt.
yeah, you're right. But anyway, it's also has like a big nozzle, and I'm really afraid I'll crack it somehow because there's a snowball's chance in hell of getting another one of those nozzles. Although somebody said Tim had a bunch of new CTI stock over the weekend. So he has a bunch of 54s in stock. But somebody also blew up another one. So I'm like, well, I'll wait it out. I want some K740s, but as we just talked about, I don't really need more rocket motors at the moment, even though it's my favorite K motor. Okay. Should we do some questions? Is there anything else I'm working on, Shane, that I haven't talked about yet? I mean, my BSD Horizon's halfway built.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. It's too big. But I used to say to my mom when I was little, if I like made my room a mess and she would tell me to clean it up, I'd tell her it was too big. for me to clean up by myself. You made it by yourself. So you can't really see it. My room sort of was in shambles, and there's a bunch of stuff pushed over here because I unpacked all of my nonsense that's been in boxes for like 6 years and consolidated all to one moving box since we're getting ready to move. And Shane came home, and you could not see the floor in my room because I was like sorting everything into piles. I was just like, it's too big, dude. It's too big.
And then you slept on the couch.
Yeah, I had so much ass all over my room, and then we got back, and it was like 10 o'clock, and I was like, there's no way. If I just move it all, it's going to get unorganized, and I wanted to. Dude, I can count the amount of times I've bought Hot Wheels as a grown adult on one hand, but when I had my car YouTube channel kind of popping off, people kept sending them to me. So I have like 150 Hot Wheels in the package still. I'm like, what do I do with this? Anyway,
dude, Hot Wheels on parachutes.
Oh, give them away.
Yeah.
I just feel like if I tried to do something like that, it wouldn't go anywhere near the crowd, and then I would have to go pick them up myself.
I know. I always think about that.
Or be littering. Oh, I got a Roustech 98mm case finally. I thought I would talk about that. It's pretty sick. Dude, the blue is like really dark blue on this one.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. Shout out to Doug on the Patreon. Dougie Dallas on the Rocket Vlogs Discord if you're on the Rocket Vlogs Discord. If you're not, join it. It's free. He bought my black one like minutes after I purchased the blue one. So I was like, why did I do this? This was way too much money. And I'm like fully banking on somebody buying my other one, and he bought it. And I was like, thank you for validating this purchase.
Braden also bullied me into buying out our halvesies 7680 case.
I didn't bully. I said you could, or I asked if you would be interested in it.
Well, it's made it feel like at this point it's been going on long enough. I felt like an a-hole to not do that. So I was like,
I have had another one for like 2 years at this point.
I know, and I just kept saying, "Yeah, I think I'm good."
Share this one. Half yours too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, let's get into some Q's and A's. Real quick, we'll hit the Dougie Dallas actually has rocket surgeon request for us, so this is going to be a little bit visually whatevered. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but we'll describe it. It's a paper rocket. I believe this was a screw hole for the electronics bay that has been ripped back about an inch or maybe half an inch. And then on the bottom, I think it's an AMW White Wolf. Is sort of crumpled. Oh no, there's streaks on it. It must not be a White Wolf. Those fins look like one though. Sort of buckled the tube, which is not uncommon to see on cardboard stuff. My recommendation for the buckled tube, honestly, is just to like sand it smooth and paint back over it. And if you have space to get a coupler down there where it buckled, glue one in there, because like it could fold in half if you fly it fast.
If you can't get to it, you can also try to make a clean cut there and then insert a coupler and glue it back together.
Yeah, I was just looking at the rail button is right beneath where it buckles. Oh, that's not a rail button. It's just a hole. I was just thinking there might not be enough space for a coupler from the top centering ring. But if there is, yeah, that's sort of the easiest solution. But I imagine he doesn't want to rebuild the whole strake assembly. It looks like the strakes go into another tube. So I think it's a little more complex than the photos are leading on here. But as far as the upper tube with what I believe he says, tore a hole in my AV bay mount. Yeah, that must be like a screw or something. With cardboard rockets, I just glue the electronics bay in.
Can I suggest something?
Yeah, go for it.
Another alternative would be to just coat your whole rocket in epoxy and maybe put some zip ties where the bend is.
Well, I see why you asked for permission to talk. When Matt's like, "Can I say something?" It's usually, "Can I say something dumb?"
Yeah. That's the fun thing about the Matt characters. We never really, people, I feel like, wonder, is he being serious or is he doing a bit?
Thank you
And the
for
answer is
keying
he's-
off of that. And
It's
100%
50-50,
serious all
folks.
the
whatever.
But yeah, I mean, for that, like, other than just sucking it up and having the hole in it, you could fiberglass it or just put a new tube in there. But like, ruined cardboard is not really that repairable.
Yeah. I'm on team glue it in these days, but if I weren't, I'd probably glass the outside in that little area there and put a new screw in it in a different spot.
Yeah, I've done that before, just like a little patch of glass. Actually, I
Yeah.
had to do it on my Nike or my Honest John when the standoff caught on the what was it? It was using a sawhorse during the ground test to hold it up just a little bit.
You
And
were
it caught
super
on the
mad.
sawhorse and just ripped it. Yeah, because I was supposed to fly it the next day. So then I glued the pieces of phenolic back together because it had a layer of glass on it, but it had fractured the phenolic. So I glued that back together with CA and then put like 8 layers of fiberglass cloth on the inside beneath the coupler because the rail button was going there. I was like, this ass gonna be beefy. And you know what? It survived hitting 2 trucks. Let's move on. Ernesto Medina says, "Hello, on your amazing flight with the bombs, what was your camera setup used for the great final shot? What camera was used? What were your challenges? What else should I know? Thank you." I assume by final shot you mean the apogee shot. That was a Mobius Maxi 4K, which now are relatively affordable again. Shane, did you see that?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
The dip in the tariffs has brought them back. They were like, when I bought mine, I think it was $80, and then for a minute they were like 275, and now they're back down to like 100. It's not like the most glamorous 4K footage, but you can see in the video I worked with the colors a little bit and made it kind of nice. But just like having a good shot of something like awe-inspiring like that kind of makes you not care about the quality to some extent. But they are cheap and they are hard to kill. Shane and I torture tested both the Maxi 4K and the Mobius Mini. I put the Maxi 4K in the electronics bay on our back porch when it was 115 degrees outside and recorded. And it recorded until the battery died for 90 minutes and then recharged just fine and still works. So they're pretty cheap. As far as challenges, I'm assuming you just mean for the camera stuff and not necessarily for the rocket. I had to overcome the challenge of putting a giant hole in the side of my rocket that was designed to go really high because that hurt my soul a little bit. And I didn't want to try and do like plexiglass or something. But I didn't pay for the rocket, and part of the deal was that there had to be onboard video. So I got over it fine when I saw the footage. It was very cool. But I mean, as far as like challenges involving integrating the camera design, I didn't have any because Shane did it for me. Shout out
That is
hprtools.com.
Man, that's awesome.
Dude, you can start selling Nike Smoke fin tooth crowns for 10-inch Nike Smokes.
Yeah, because that's something people commonly build.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be if you sold them. We could get some plywood. We get Taylor make the tooth stubs, and then you can make the crowns for them. And then people could build their own 10-inch Nike
It'd
Smokes.
be really cool if they just like explode.
Yeah, dude. And
And
that's,
the stubs are still sticking out. We just slap some new ones on there.
that's what's perfect too, is because that's the hard part. There's no other unique, difficult features about a Nike Smoke.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, super
I
straightforward.
think it's a cool fin design.
It is a cool fin
Trapezoid.
design.
Well, just no. I mean,
Tapered
just the slide off,
trapezoid.
slide on.
sorry, tapered trap.
I mean this slide off, slide on,
The slider.
detach, retach.
Oh, I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about the Nike Smoke in general.
No,
I was like, yeah, it's pretty
No,
cool.
no, my bad. Sorry, I like
Yeah,
the
welcome
pen
to the
idea.
club. Yeah, it's pretty sick. I was talking about it at NSL, and then Shane the other day came into my room as if he had just had the ultimate Jimmy Neutron brain blast. Like,
Well-
what if we slide this over? I was like,
Yeah.
I said that. I said that at NSL.
Because I was cleaning up the garage, and then I'm like, oh, here's all these Nike smoke parts, because I hadn't even unwrapped the tube or the nose cone. I was like, oh, this is sick. And then I was like, oh, yeah, Shane asked me for dimensions. So I sent him dimensions, and I'm like, how are we going to do that? Because I'm like, if we just put skins on it, then it'll be too thick. That
Yeah. This is actually scale thickness out there. Dude, it's like an inch and a half at the
Yeah,
bottom.
it's hilarious.
It's dense, boy. Okay, moving on. Andrew says, what are your plans for Airfest 31 and LGRS 44 next year? Looking forward to both. I'm about to build my RV Punisher for the contest at Airfest and have a couple end motors to burn at LDRS. Dude, sick. I got to make a video about that contest, kind of outlining everything. But first I got to decide how, like, we're going to have to get up early and be at the launch site early because I have to see the rockets first. But, like, people are going to want to fly as soon as the waiver opens if they can, because they're going to have to go get them. And who's volunteering to help me with all this again?
Shane?
Oh, it's Matt.
It is,
Oh,
man.
Dude, I don't know if Matt can be a judge. People are going to have something very modified, and he'll be like, but, like, they brought it all the way here. Like, yeah, they're cheating a little, but they
Yeah,
spent so much
get
time
Taylor
on
to
this.
do it. They're like, hey, is this okay? He's like, no, of course not.
Yeah,
Come on.
I need Taylor to be a judge. Like, there's a little bit of a crack in that fillet. Sorry, sucker.
You thought that'd be
Um,
okay? Wow.
wow, that looks like ass, and it looks like mashed potatoes.
Yeah, he does love saying that.
no, okay. What a meme.
Airfest 31, the 10-inch Nike Smoke, and LDRS 44. If we can manage to find some funding, we want to fly the Punisher there, out in old Indiana.
Although I was thinking about it more, and I'm like, if I'm knee deep in a house build, that might not be super doable.
Here we go, dude. I knew it was gonna happen. The house rockets are done. Taylor's done with rockets
No.
now.
We could do the Arcus though.
How is that better?
You can just
Well, it's not as expensive.
you can just scale back on the house a little bit, right?
Well, if
you don't,
I'll propose that.
if we don't have to pay for it, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we can get motors,
Or at least drastically decrease the cost. What I was going to say there was I've talked to Chuck Haskin about potentially doing posters with his picture of the Punisher's flight from Midwest Power. And we can bulk buy posters for pretty cheap, and it'd be a pretty cool shot for a poster. So thinking about doing posters or some sort of merchandise fundraising to get the Punisher in the air like we did with shirts last year, except for the shirts sucked, and so does Teespring. So we don't really want to do that this time. And as far as getting shirts pre-made, there's 30 shirts in my garage right now that I don't know what to do with. So I don't really want to do that again either. RocketFlogs.com, those are now on sale for $30, I think. And it comes with a sticker and a postcard from the Bob's flight. Yeah, please get those out of my possession before I move. Thank you. Rocket Flyer 1299 says Aerotech says the diameter of a 75mm casing is 2.965 inches. I'm rolling a 75mm fiberglass tube for a motor mount. Could you confirm this? I would measure a casing if I could, but unfortunately I don't have one yet. What are you rolling the tube around?
just use a full-length coupler.
Yeah, that's generally, I mean, even if you're wrapping the case, you put Mylar around it because you don't want it to be the exact same inside diameter. But I don't know, Shane, you want to go grab my 2560 case and the calipers real quick?
Sure. I'll be right back.
That is
All right.
what the correct size.
What, 2.965?
Yeah.
A likely story.
how
We're
do you
about to
know
find
that?
out, though.
It is really satisfying. So the one tube that I did make, it was really satisfying because of the tolerances to the motor case. how nicely it slides in, no wiggling.
Yeah, did you do like a single wrap of Mylar?
Yeah,
And you wrapped it on the case, or did you use a coupler?
coupler, full length coupler. I think I got a
Dang,
4-footer.
I've always wondered. Yeah, you used to be able to get those from PML. I don't know if you can anymore.
Well, oh wait, maybe it was PML. No, I may have got it from Giant Leap because it was
Dude,
hard to
I
find.
have
It was hard to find a 4-footer.
Yeah, I have a 4-foot full length 2.6-inch coupler, a fiberglass one that I bought from Apogee because we were going to use it for motor cases. What's the verdict, Shane?
Drum roll.
Hold on.
Oh,
Wow.
it's dead on 2.965.
Wow, there you go. Rocket Flyer 1299 confirmed. Max, this is going to be an interesting one for us to chat about. Asks, what's the limit of practicality for a number of high power motors you'd cluster for a launch? I'm going to say the limit of it being practical is 5.
I don't know. I mean, 7 seems fine. Well, we haven't had any. That doesn't. When we do that, well, I feel like that's just really cool. I don't know. 9
think-
feels
all right.
dumb. 9 is dumb. We can all
Every time
agree.
we've done 7, there's been multiple people there to like babysit the wires and make sure everything's correct. In terms of just doing it yourself, 5
yeah,
is
5.
already like
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
pushing it. But if you have a team of people, the 7's fine. And yes, 9 is dumb.
You're right. Twisting
Oh,
all those
9's
wires
sick.
together with 7 by yourself would be kind of a mess.
It could go so bad. Yeah. You're just like, all right, these 2, and then you're just like, oh, S, which ones did this? Were these? And then before you know it, your rock is taking off sideways. Like the Sumi.
Yeah.
That not because of that though.
Yeah. They did come up to pressure late though, didn't they?
Yes. The like half and half, not in a nice symmetrical way.
Yeah, like we got dumb lucky with on the first Punisher flight.
Yeah. But
I don't think we talk about that enough.
I have an answer for the sumo. It's funny, it hurts me so bad that I'm like, I need to fix it immediately.
Yeah.
So I already ripped the decal off, ordered parts to fix
Oh.
it. I'm like, oh my god.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's
Dude,
going
that-
for it. Are you going to do thermite next time? Is that the answer?
No. Estus black powder.
Mm. About BKN 03.
Because I don't have any,
Right.
and I've done
Oh, yeah.
I've done the Estus black powder thing and won every drag race I've ever done with it.
It is pretty nice. We're not going to describe how to do that on the podcast because that seems like a bad
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
to just-
use your imagination though, and they light it because I did it like So I used to go down to Pawhuska, Tripoli, Tulsa for
Mm.
their launch, and we do mini mag or Warlock drag races, and so I kept beating everybody, and then we're like, oh yeah, it's just pellets, and then everyone did Pyrex pellets, and then I still beat them because it was not a Pyrex pellet.
Easy.
because Taylor's is just good like that. But yeah, 5 is like I wouldn't want to do more than 5 by myself, probably.
Yeah, it's also a lot to like. Not really practical cost wise to do by yourself.
Yeah, yeah, just clusters in
Like
general. You mean?
Well, yes, but like 5 motors, I in my head I'm like, I think I could pull that off, you know. But 7, I'm just like, wow, it's a lot of hardware and a lot of motors to buy.
Yeah, exactly. Like my Honest John, I was like, man, if this goes bad, like this isn't like the Punisher where we all split it and like it would suck.
Yeah,
But
you just eat
then
it.
then I just lost like $1,500 in hardware or something like that. Not that much, I guess, but yeah, it was pretty nuts. And I was like, that was really cool, but like for the same amount of money or for the same amount of impulse, I could fly it on a single motor for a lot less. So I don't know. Your mileage may vary. Clusters are really cool, but it's almost like the Punisher was like a cluster. Well, for one, because of the Gates Brothers. The Gates Brothers Porthos almost needed to be a cluster because it's so heavy, but like the Punisher had to fly like a Punisher. And without having someone to make us a P motor, like the only way to do that was put a ton of motors in it, right? But
I mean, there's
It's
certain
also-
motors we could have flown that would have got it moving fairly decent, but not like 7
Yeah.
big motors.
although at that scale, to be fair, we did a full O for like less than an O 5500, which is barely an O. So at some point there's a crossover,
Yeah.
but it's not at a 75M and 438s. I can tell
No,
you
that's
that.
a really bad deal.
Yeah, it is. It was cool though.
Although not
okay.
as bad. It I don't know where that crossover is, but if you do smaller clusters, it's even worse if you figure out like cost per like Newton second.
Oh yeah. Well, do you remember my LDRS 40 flight at Lucerne
Oh
that
yeah.
I had? It was a J800 and two G80s, and then air starting 2 Sparky H motors from CTI. The H motors didn't light, but I was like, the J800 and two G80s is like still J impulse, and it cost me as much as a K1100.
Yeah. It's like I've always wanted a Lock Ultimate, but I just can't justify it. I even tried to figure out like the most cost effective like Econo Jet or Econo Max or whatever motors I could put in it. And I'm like, it works out to like a $350 J motor.
Yeah. That's tough.
Like I cannot do that, even if it would be super cool.
All right. We got one final question. It's from Liam. He says, I might come to Midwest Power. In that case, I'll be flying. Any suggestions for how to get my motors and rockets and such to the launch? And any suggestions for hotel is? He put an apostrophe before the S. I'm sorry. I'm a writer. I have to point that out. Well, as far as hotel is go, the American by Wyndham is kind of the best choice because the other one is something. I don't even know what it is anymore. Right?
Yeah.
It's not-
Well, they were remodeling it. I don't know if it's open.
oh, maybe it's
open
super
now.
nice now.
Sorry,
Although-
I wasn't talking into the microphone. My bad.
Yeah. Well, you've kind of not been doing that throughout the whole episode. I hate to point that out now, but
Wow, you're terrible.
no, Matt, you don't have any say in this discussion.
Just thought I would remind him.
But we hadn't stayed at the Americ Inn by Wyndham, so we stayed there last year after we crashed at the Wild Man place for the first night. But I'm pretty sure I'm allergic to dogs, so it was a tough morning when I couldn't breathe very good. So we went to a hotel, and they have 2 awesome dogs, by the way. Like they're very nice, very fun dogs. But I just apparently am allergic to dogs. Last time I went to my parents' house, my sisters have dogs, and I was like just sitting on the couch. And my eyes started burning, so that's fun.
The old Days Inn is a Comfort Inn now. Looks like it's reopened.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
That means for
How's it look?
sure, as a Choice Hotels credit card holder, that means they did not remodel it or change almost anything, I'm sure. Remember, didn't we switch rooms one time because we found bugs?
Yeah.
Didn't that happen?
Ooh.
Yep. That
Where was that at?
The old Midwest Power Hotel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Matt's not even listening, dude.
I am
My God.
listening. I
think
was
that
trying to
2
figure
years
out
ago.
There was a Wendy's in the parking lot. That was nice.
That was sick.
But on the other side, you're in the same area as the Casey's. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, the
Frosties
Ameri-
are pretty awesome though.
Yeah. Yeah. It was nice to remember we walked over there, got ourselves a little frost. But the Americ Inn by Wyndham has a pool and hot tub, which pretty much takes the dub.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
We should stay there again.
Yeah. We should. We should call them and get our room number first too, so we can put that out there as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's pretty much going to do it. Anybody have anything else to say? What plans for rocket launches? What you're doing anytime soon? Matt, build a rocket, please. Shane, also build a rocket, please.
If anything, Matt, build the Skeeter.
All right. Yeah, I'll do that.
Is that it? We good?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. My name is Braden Carls. You can find me on YouTube at Rocket Vlogs. You can follow me on Instagram at BigB1011. And that's all I'm plugging again, dude. TikTok's a mess over there.
My name is Taylor. You can find me on YouTube at The Rocket Channel.
My name is Shane or Postart. You can find me on Instagram at Shane Harris Photo, where I have a new post coming about a Mazda 3 that Braden and I just spent a week with, and a review from Braden is coming soon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And a video. Oh, if you like cars, follow Ref Reflection on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's my... And go to refreflection.com. Click around, click through everything, Google it a bunch, and click on it. Please give it a little SEO boost.
Nice. No, and my name badge still says Matthew, and you can still call me Macho Matt.
We are the Anti-Gravity Group. This is the Anti-Gravity Group podcast, and we will see you all next time.
We might just hear from Nigel the Rocket Cat. Load up the professional masterpiece, you can bet on that. A launch and a chat with them is guaranteed to be a blast. It's the Anti-Gravity Group podcast. Ooh, ooh, ooh.